there, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Astrology. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. Today we are going to cover 2 weeks of Moon Astrology, May 8th through the 14th. And then the 15th through the 21st, I will timestamp so that you don't have to watch it all at once if you don't want to, or you can come back and check it out later. So, I did try to channel messages for everyone, and what happened was I actually channeled a message for everyone, so it has its own video. I will link it below in the description box. I encourage you, if you've not seen the video on the eclipse energy and how to use it, that you take the time, because Spirit really had a lot to say about that. So, what I'm doing is using the Fairy Tale Oracle by Lucy Cavendish to kind of grab some of the overall energy for you for the next 2 weeks and what to be focusing on. So the card you have is the Juniper Tree in Deception. And that is about jealousies and lies and believing in yourself enough to resurrect who you really are. To not let other people determine your future, but I wanted more than that. So we have the Princess and the Pea, sensitivity. This is again about knowing who you are, right? So this is about you knowing who you are, and yes, you're very sensitive, and yes, you're very intuitive. This card is just really tough energy. But that feels like other people's judgments of you. And the Princess and the Pea, it was a test, right? The queen was like testing to see if she was a real princess, and so she stacked up like 20 mattresses, and then on the very bottom there was one little dried up pea, and the princess said in the morning when asked how she slept, she was like, there was this big huge boulder or something in the middle of the bed and I couldn't get comfortable. She was very in tune with what she felt. And it was because of that, it shone through, and the queen then knew she was a true princess. And so, allowing the truth of who you are to be expressed, being willing to open up and share how you feel, that authenticity will open doors for you, right? Because then the queen let her get to know her son, the prince, and then they lived happily ever after, because it's a fairy tale. Does it really work like that in life? I don't know, you decide. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into what's going on for this week. And so I really think it's about being authentically who you are, trusting in your intuition, trusting in what you feel, and allowing the chips to fall where they may. It is in your self-belief that you will make real progress in your life. All right, so we walk into this week with that, just coming off of that eclipse in Sagittarius, which was all about releasing long-held beliefs. And for you, they probably revolved around your beliefs about self-worth, self-esteem, things you value. Could have been financial, money issues. Okay, my nose is itching, so for some of you, that was definitely that. This is the third time this has shown up. Showed up for Libra, showed up for Taurus, and now for you, the conscious consumer. To me, the conscious consumer is about, yes, it is about when you are able to, financially, then you spread, you help improve the world. By spending your money on things that help improve the world. So for instance, then if you can afford to buy organic, when you buy organic, then there are more sales for organic. And so the more farmers can grow organic, and the more farmers that grow organic foods, and then that trickles down to the prices start dropping, and because there's a supply and demand, right? And then people who really need higher quality food can afford it. And so in that way you vote with your pocketbook the changes you want to make in this world. But this is also about consciously consuming news and information, because we are in Gemini season. Coming off of this eclipse, is where you release and you let go of some long-held belief system, or yeah. So then you feel a little untethered, a little unbalanced. And so when the moon moved into Capricorn, and that's where it starts out on Monday, it was there like into Saturday, into Sunday, and now into the Monday. It is about finding your balance again. And you find your balance by understanding what your principles are. You stand in your truth. And so consuming, you know, what you choose to consume because it's based on what you believe in, your beliefs, not the ones that are force-fed to you by your community, by your family, by your bosses, by whatever. You know, it's you deciding what you believe in, what are your principles, and then making choices, consciously choosing what you consume, either materially or communication-wise. Like, that's healthy boundaries. Like, you don't get to talk that crap to me, right? You know, we can have this discussion later. We're not having it right now. When you're ready to speak to me in a way in which I can tell you respect me, we can continue the conversation. Those are healthy boundaries. So, on Tuesday, the moon is going to move, well, actually Monday night, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Monday night at 8:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the moon moves into Aquarius. For you, that is your 4th house of home and how you nurture yourself. At the same time, we've got Mercury really deep into the shadow now, and it's time to start focusing on on balancing the projects, of finishing. So how do you balance your time to prioritize the project that you already have ongoing? It's finishing up what you've started. It's not a really great time to start new stuff. It is definitely a time to rebalance your life. So change is happening. We all know that. Can't avoid it. But this moon here also challenges you because it squares off with your opposing sign of Taurus, where Uranus is, at around 8 degrees. If you're 8 degrees in an earth sign, or in Sagittarius, in Scorpio, if you have something around 8 degrees, this is a very significant stressor, because that means that, oh wow, okay, yeah, this could be a significant stressor going on for you. And so this will be about breaking the habits of the past and replacing them. Can't have nature abhors a vacuum, right? It always fills up the space. So what are you consuming to fill up the space of this change that you're making? So new methods, new ideas, new ideologies, new values. You're being challenged to move out of your complacency about these issues and find the beauty in the change, in the transformation. When you look at this, what do you see? Do you see flowers and a butterfly? Or do you see the face? It is about perception. It is about what you see. And it's also about understanding that when you cut out the things that do not work in your life, you are providing growth and opportunity. You are resilient and you will grow back. You will go back stronger, right, when you cut out the unhealthy stuff. So you're being asked to take the position of an observer. Interesting. There's a lot of waiting energy going up. Waiting, not waiting, but waiting, pausing, breathing energy. And so taking that step back and observing the lay of the land and seeing what you're going to do next, that's a great way to balance things out, especially when you're so sensitive. Like, you notice things, you feel things. And so if you're feeling really unbalanced, stepping back, getting a longer range perspective of what's happening, and it's not so much about the immediate as where are you going from here? Where do you want to take this? What direction do you want to go in? The moon is going to move into Pisces at 5:32 a.m. This is about that emotional release. This is in your 5th house of fun and romance and creativity and engaging your inner child and could be actual children. And so where do you go from here? And so this is about understanding this emotional release, is that the negative things releasing, because you're observing it from a distance, not necessarily wading in the emotional waters of it, seeing that I learned something. There was wisdom and knowledge to be gained from this really not so fun experience. And Scorpio, you guys have been going through it, and I see you on the upside. It is like the clock was going down, 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 and now it was like 6 o'clock for a while. Now we're starting to get on the upswing. You're at like 7 o'clock. Well, I guess I should go this way because the camera's backwards from me. And so there's wisdom, and it says, deep within me is majestic radiance. This is the core of who you are. This is knowing who you are and standing in your truth and then embarking on a new adventure. Like, I'm leaving that crap behind me and I'm moving forward. I savor the wonders of the world. I have learned something. I am feeling hopeful about the future, and I am willing to go for my dreams. It's beautiful, really. Really it is. On Saturday, the moon is going to move into Aries. And when the moon gets into Aries, there is this real impatience for, okay, I'm embarking on my adventure. And nothing's moving. It's like, it would be like being in a sailboat in the water, right? And all of a sudden the wind dies down and it's calm and you can't go anywhere. Because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is in Pisces right now. When Mars is in Pisces, everything moves around at a little snail's pace. But right now, we have a lot of planets in retrograde also doing that. And so it is a time that is supposed to be for reflecting, for moving slow, for getting our balance before it's resting and recharging before we go forward, because things are going to be different and they're going to speed up and everything is kind of changing, right? And so it's being ready for that. And so as much as you want to like full steam ahead, this is a time to kind of slow down and count your blessings, recognizing that the people who taught you the hard lessons were your soulmates. They came here to do that. And so being grateful for the lessons, for the experience. You may not have enjoyed it, but you learned something, right? You learned something of value about what you value. And you are so protected and guided, and you are not alone through this process, although at times it is really easy to feel like you were alone. And so the standstill card came out. This is not the first time I've seen this today either. Like, there is a pause. There is a need to pause, to breathe, to figure out what our next steps are. That, to observe how we feel, to observe who around us has been deceptive. Have you been deceiving yourself? Have you been deceiving others? Have you been deceiving your inner child by saying, those dreams that you had, you should grow up. You don't need that. Well, you would be wrong. You did need that, right? And so allowing yourself to dream again in this quiet space, that's been part of the gift. Not for all. Some people are like, I need to breathe. But for others, it's been an opportunity to use this quiet space, the standing still time, to push through the resistance of their own mind, their own willingness to make change, their own willingness to change things. All right, we are into, that's Monday, June 15th. Whoops, I want to write the time down. So, that feeling of needing to push through the resistance of not doing anything, of being willing to stand still and allow the changes to happen in divine timing. Oh, like not being in charge, being willing to surrender in and allow the changes to come in at the right time. I'm always in the right time, at the right place, with the right people, and I have the right opportunities. I'm aware of the synchronicity in my life. I'm aware because I'm so sensitive to my surroundings. And I'm aware of who's being deceptive and who I'm deceiving. And sometimes the one we deceive the most, of course, is ourselves. All right, so on Tuesday, the moon is going to move into Taurus at 5:35 a.m. And this is about that energy of finding peace by surrendering to the divine. Allowing yourself to release through the butterflies. Allowing yourself to release into the transformation. Butterflies are the physical transformation of a situation. The spiritual transformation for me are the dragonflies, but this is butterflies. This is something in your life physically changing, going through some kind of a metamorphosis, really actually physically moving around and changing and becoming something new, something more beautiful, something that has wings. It's a new adventure. It's the dream of the inner child taking flight, if you'll let it. Oh, freedom is yours. Freedom is yours. The freedom to make your life what you really want it to be. What do you want to create? Wow, if you have Taurus strong in your chart, I swear they had 2 other cards, not even that one, on freedom. So I see a lot of interesting. Very interesting. All right. So this to me, you guys have been held in a space of a cocoon, right? The breaking down of all the pieces and parts of you, and it's been reconfiguring. And I just saw it. It's like the butterfly breaking free of the chrysalis. You are free to now fly, whereas before you were stuck on the ground. Oh, you know what's interesting? Look at. Okay, so this is a hot air balloon, and earlier today I had this vision of a hot air balloon. That was actually about my life, but I think it's appropriate for yours as well. That the ropes that ties the balloon to the ground, right? Those are the belief systems. Those are the things that have always been in place, that have held us in place, right? We all have them. And then as we cut them and release them, and so cut those cords, right? As we release the things that don't serve in our lives, then we have the ability to fly high, to embark on a new adventure, to see things from a higher perspective too. Oh. So the moon is going to move, hold on the 18th, which is Thursday. Oh boy, I'm so itchy from spirit being here. On the 18th, Mercury is going to move retrograde at 12:59 in the morning. And then Gemini, the moon moves into Gemini at 5 p.m. And patience is going to be important. It is about resting. It is about recharging. It is about turning over the how and the when to spirit. But the what the change is, the why the change is, that's your responsibility. So if you know what you want to change and why you want to change, Spirit will step up and say, here's how we're going to do it, and here's when it'll happen. You are blessed with majesty, vision, and power. Service. Service with an open heart is the key to satisfaction. So with the last 18 months, with the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, it has been about not letting other people tell us how to run our lives, but taking our own authority and being kind and compassionate and loving ourselves and nurturing ourselves and taking care of ourselves. And so it's been a real withdrawing and a lot of pulling in of our energy. But as the world moves into the age of Aquarius is about service to humanity. And we are ready now because we've been doing this healing work, learning how to fill up our own cup, our own bucket of love, so that it's overflowing and it could spill out to others. So how and when you do that, what that means to you, but you have the conscious consumer and now the service card, there is something that it seems like you are in the position to be of service to humanity or your next door neighbor. I don't know. But by considering, the choices that you make and how you because Sagittarius, right? That's your second house of self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, what you value, financial resources. So how do you choose to spend your resources of time, money, knowledge. You know, how do you serve humanity? Ooh, love it. You are good enough. You are good enough. You are a princess, right? You are good enough. The sun is going to move into Cancer at 5:45 p.m. on Saturday the 20th. This is the solstice. So it's more likely the 21st is the longest day of the year. I think I've been saying the 20th. It depends on where you are. I still think it's the 20th. Longest day of the year if you're in the northern hemisphere. Shortest day of the year if you're in the southern hemisphere. The solstice is where the seasons have this big change and where the light into the darkness. It's that shifting time, right? And then at 2:02 a.m. on the 21st, the moon is going to move into Cancer. So like 9 hours later. 9 hours. I can't do math. And then 39 minutes later is the eclipse at 0 degrees. It's so freaking powerful. This is the energy to project yourself into the future. This is how you take all that love and that everything you've learned about loving and caring for yourself. This is how you know that you are good enough. And how do you shine that out into the world now is the question. Where do you go from here? That's what the eclipse is. It's a new beginning. It is stepping through the gateway. Now this is the moon and Pluto, and the moon and Pluto is about big transformation because it's at that 0 degrees. This is strong, powerful energy. Part of this energy is also moving away from that resentful, vindictive, jealous energy of Hera that rules Cancer in the negative. It also rules Cancer in the positive, but it's been showing up more today about this need to release yourself from a sense of isolation and resentfulness of what other people have in their life that you don't have. And that could be anything from a relationship to, you know, a mansion on the hill. So I encourage you to have compassion for yourself when those stirrings of jealousy crop up, but know that you are good enough. So have compassion for others who judge you. Have compassion for yourself as you learn to not be so judgmental of yourself, especially, and of others. And the vibration of compassion shines through my every cell. This is compassion for yourself. This is compassion for other people. We're all on a journey. We're all moving at different speeds through it, right? We all have different lessons that we're learning. But you're going somewhere. You have the horse spirit. Freedom is yours. You are embarking on a new adventure. And so having compassion for others as you move forward and not worrying so much about what you're leaving behind. They will figure it out. They also were learning things. So you have to take note. Your answers are being given to you. Quiet external forces. One more time. Quieting external voices and excessive noise will give you the chance to hear what is being offered. And so this week and the week before, the more time that you can sit in quiet and meditation and really think about what you want and allow yourself to recharge. Your messages might come to you in dreams. They might come to you in thoughts that you have while you're standing in the shower. They might come to you when you hear someone talking and you overhear something. There's messages being brought to you. Pay attention to what you feel. Discerning out what is deception and what is reality for you, and how do you feel about it. Taking note of these things will prepare you for the next steps. It's a very exciting time. The energy is going to pick up when that moon, so we have the new moon on the 21st. On the 25th, Venus goes direct, which means all the relationship issues you've been mulling over for the past 6 weeks. At that point, it'll be 6 weeks. you know, you're going to get to go over them again, but this time you're moving forward over them. It's like I've already reviewed this and now I know what changes I'm going to make. So there's clarity that comes from that. There is a problem with communicating it out in a way that's very clear because Cancer, Mercury in retrograde in Cancer will make emotional conversations difficult. So speak with clarity, write with clarity, be very sure, but also before you say, stop and think, okay, how would I hear this? How would I accept this, right? And then Mars moving into Aries will finally get things going. So you're being encouraged to find a way to create a healthy and balanced lifestyle for yourself. You have copyright. I am healthy, strong. I'm healthy and strong thanks to physical movement and exercise outdoors. A really great way to get energy moving is to physically move because it creates a different energy flow around you. So support physical strength training. Increase time in the sunlight for a healthy body. Wear sunscreen if you're out there a lot. If you're in the southern hemisphere where the days are getting shorter and shorter, and then finding those few minutes here or there where it's warm enough to get outside and get some sun on you is very beneficial for your mental and emotional health. And then amplify physical movement to increase good health. So find a way to put some physical activity in your life. It will lift your spirits, the endorphins, right? And just in general, it's good for you moving forward. So, wow, looks really good, Scorpio. I will see you back here next Monday, and we will talk about what's going on for you during the season of Cancer. What can we expect out of that for you? All right, so you take care. Be on the lookout for the eclipse video. I think you will find it informative and helpful. And until then, you guys take really good care, and we will chat soon.